Are you tired of using Stasis Titan all day or Hammer Bonk Titan all day? Well, this is the build for you to change things up. As you see in the gameplay in the background, this is negative 50 light blade that this build is going crazy in right now, and you can obviously take this in negative 50 GMs and stuff, right? This build is correct. Okay, I already told you guys, Void Titan is my favorite freaking subclass on Titans because it makes me actually feel like a Titan where I can just take any type of damage and I can just move. You know, I can just move the pillars, bro. Nobody can touch me. You know what I'm saying? And this build right here literally gives you that fantasy of I can take as much damage as I want. People can't kill me. I take control of the scenario around me, and I do lethal damage as well. I'm not just defense, I'm offense as well. You really feel like a Spartan, okay? So in today's build, we are using the exotic armor Helm of Saint 14. The exotic perk of Helm of Saint 14 is Starless Knight. Weapons of light persist after exiting War of the Dawn. So War of the Dawn already give you Weapon of Light automatically, but you're not able to walk around with it. This allows you to walk around with it, and Weapon of Light give you 25% extra bonus damage on top of the enemies that's already going to be weakened inside the bubble, because that's what the bubble does now, that 15%. So this allows you to do a lot of dumb damage, right? And then it said, while you have Weapon of Light on, final blows or sustained damage grant stacks of the Saint. And that stats go up to 14. And we'll talk about that a little bit. Void and kinetic damage sources also trigger suppressing burst. The weapon we're using already does suppression, so we don't actually care for that. But this is what they replaced with Helm of Saint already blinding any enemy that walk inside the bubble. Now it's you have to trigger the suppression burst to blind the people inside the bubble, which is very easy to do. So don't worry about that. Picking up Ward of Dawn consumes all the stacks of the Saint and extend the duration on how many stacks were consumed. I'll throw it on the screen. I'm pretty sure it's the first time you pick up the bubble, you get extra 20 seconds, and then the second time you pick up the bubble, it's like an extra like 10 seconds, right? Making your bubble stat out there even longer on top of your super stat. Some people don't know your super stat for bubble and whale. If it's above 100, it makes the bubble / whale rating stay out there even longer. So this is on top of the bubble already staying out even longer for us having 200 super stat in this build. Okay, so the stats you want to go for in this build, like I just said, you want to go for 200 super stat. Obviously we're going 160, so we put 2 font mods on our helmet to get to 200. You want to go for a 200 weapon stat. We're going 170 on purpose, and I'll explain why after we get further into the build. And then the rest, I say pour into a split between melee and grenade. Okay. Now, the armor set you want to go for in this build is Exodus down, because you will be getting a lot of armor charges in this build. So you can just finish your move and just get a free extra 30% damage reduction in this build. You can go Nezarac's raid armor set because it gives you 25% damage reduction while you get Devour on. You also could go Vault of Glass because the weapon we are using in this build is Wave Splitter, so that will power up Wave Splitter on demand, but also too, this build is all about getting your super back quick as possible. So Vault of Glass armor makes that even more perfect because just raining orbs of power on you whenever, like, okay, that just helps us out even more. So like I said, the exotic we use in this build is Wave Splitter. Wave Splitter has become a monster in its sandbox because of its catalyst. Its catalyst give it attrition orbs, which makes it that the whole purpose of this exotic is picking up orb power to juice up the damage. Whenever you pick up orb power, this weapon can literally do like 72% more damage from having the orb power on you. 72, 75% is around there. And the timer can stay up to 19 seconds, right? 20 seconds, right? As long as you keep picking up orbs to extend the duration higher and higher. So this is just perfect for this weapon. Like I said, if you use Vault of Glass armor, it works even better. And then it got Detonator Beam to make it do even more damage while you do sustained damage to any enemy. So it's able to take out, you know, or do great DPS to like bosses or champions and stuff. So Wave Splitter is just a very heavy hitting weapon, and it reloads itself whenever you suppress an enemy, and it suppress enemies on its own because of the fragment we have on. That's why it reloads itself. And then whenever you pick up an orb power, it reloads itself. So if you got the Vault of Glass armor, then it'll automatically be reloading itself as you just naturally shoot enemies because of you having Vault of Glass armor. So yeah, just a dumb strong weapon. And we'll get into making it do even more damage like we was talking about earlier. Then we got Soprano Roulette on. This is perfect for handing anti-barrier champions. You got attrition orbs on it as well, chaos reshape, and it's just a very strong weapon for the artifact we're using today. So very good. And then your heavy can be whatever you want it to be. That is unstoppable champions, or just great for DPS if you don't have to deal with unstoppable champions. So pick whatever high DPS heavy you want to use. Okay. Tablet of Ruin is the artifact we're using today. Duh, obvious reasons, right? So we got 2 shreds on top of Horror Shuttle and Unraveling Rounds. So we can pick up an Orb Power from anything, because we got a lot of ways to make Orb Power in this build. We pick up Orb Power and then shoot with Synchronic Roulette, and then now unravel enemies, and then enemies that's unraveled, we keep dealing damage to them, whether with Synchronic Roulette or freaking anything else like Wave Splitter. And it'll make threadlings, and then the threadlings will sever enemies, and then we can kill those severed enemies to get Wolf and Mail in our build. And then if we doing damage to severed enemies, that spread even more unraveling. So we just got Wolf and Mail thrown into the build with the Void Overshield and armor light we're gonna have on for damage reduction, and X is down if you're running that armor set like I am. Then we're running Elemental Supercharge Charger. This said defeating exhausted or severed targets with weapons that match your super element grants super energy. Wave Splitter is a weapon that has overload on it. Overload naturally already exhausts enemies. So Wave Splitter gonna automatically, every kill we getting with it, gonna be giving us bonus super energy because it's gonna exhaust enemies because it's an overload weapon, and we got a void super on, and it's a void weapon. So we're getting our super back very quick because the elemental supercharger. We have a harsh refraction, just making that Wave Splitter do even more damage. I'll throw it on the screen, from dealing any damage to enemies that got an elemental debuff on them that matches our weapon. Again, Wave Splitter already suppressed people, so it's already gonna be getting that damage buff. But we will be doing volatile in this build as well, and weakening, so it's gonna be doing even more damage. We got on Malign Harvest. As we apply volatile rapidly, it'll make our weapon do weakening, void weapon do weakening on an enemy, and then if we weaken any enemies naturally, we just get a void overshield. So our bubble, like I said, weaken enemies. So any enemy that gets snatched inside our bubble will get a void overshield on us naturally, and then as we keep shooting enemies, we'll be getting a void overshield from Wave Splitter. And then lastly, we got on Volatile Marksman. This allows us to get the volatile rounds with Wave Splitter. And then also too, us triggering volatile explosions gives us class ability. So now we'll be getting our Rally Barricade as much as we want in this build from just shooting Wave Splitter. You'll be able to spam your abilities non-stop in this build. You'll be able to spam our super non-stop in this build, our Rally Barricade, and we're going to be able to get our grenade and melee back as much as possible as well, because the Devour going to be on for our grenade, and then an aspect on for our melee and grenade. Alright, subclass. Obviously, using Ward of Dawn. Like I said, Ward of Dawn, you put it out on enemies. Not only does it weaken enemies that's inside the bubble, you get 25% increased weapon damage on top of, like I said, Wave Splitter, on top of Wave Splitter damage already from harsh refraction of artifact, from its own exotic perk. Yeah, it's just gonna be doing dumb damage. We're gonna have void surges on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But there is a secret tech with Ward of Dawn. Also, Ward of Dawn increases your melee damage by 50% while you're inside of it. Okay. And you can reposition Ward of Dawn if you know how the new Ward of Dawn work. Ward of Dawn, what some people don't understand is you can actually shoot outside the bubble now. And it's been something people been always wanting with the bubble. Being able to shoot outside the bubble and within the bubble, right? So the way it worked that the game don't tell you is, if I put a bubble around Carl right here, I can shoot him from outside the bubble. And if I pick this up and I step outside the bubble, like get Carl out the bubble, I cannot hit Carl. Why is this? How Ward of Dawn work is, as long as someone's inside the bubble, you can shoot within and outside of the bubble. So if I throw out these Cabal right here, as I was saying, I can shoot these enemies outside while I'm inside here, simply because these Cabal is inside the bubble. So this is a very good tech to keep in mind. Sometimes you want to keep these enemies in the bubble and just blind them, and just keep minding your business shooting the other enemies, because they can't hit you. They can hit you because you're inside the bubble. They shots getting blocked, and you already know the enemies inside the bubble ain't gonna be doing nothing to you because of all the damage reduction you got inside the bubble. So that's just a really good tech to remember. And that is something you also can remember, like if you're playing with your friends and y'all going against a boss. If y'all going against a boss and y'all got a well of radiance, then y'all can be like, oh, let me put my bubble on the boss. Let's stand back here inside the well of radiance. And now the boss can't shoot at us, but we can shoot at the boss nonstop. The boss gonna always have a 15% damage, 50% weakening on him because he's inside the bubble. And y'all just go crazy on the boss. He can't do nothing. So that's just a cool thing, a cool tech that I say keep in mind when it comes to the bubble. The bubble is very OP now. We got Rally Barricade on. I got Center Shield on, but your melee can be whatever you want it to be. I got Suppressor Grenade on to blind enemies. Again, can do whatever you want to be whatever you want it to be. Keep in mind, suppression does stop Banes from doing their powers. So if you go into like a Meteor Bane or something like that, Medusa Bane, something like that, suppression will turn off their powers. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. So that's very, very powerful in in-game content when you're fighting against like meteor champion stuff. Them not being able to put their meteors and stuff out because you're shooting at them with Wave Splitter or Suppressor Grenade, very powerful. We got on Fist of Bulwark, just making that while we inside the bubble, or we got a Void Overshield on. Every kill we get, give us grenade and melee energy. I believe it's 10%. So this is how you're gonna be able to spam your abilities nonstop as well. This increase your melee damage by 160% on top of what the bubble gonna be giving you, an extra 50%. And yeah, and while you get melee kills, it extends your overshield even more. And then we got Controlled Demolition. As we hit enemies with void abilities or volatile explosions, it make enemies get volatile. And then if we blow up them volatile explosions, we get health back within 40 meters of that explosion, which is very easy to do. Okay. Fragments, we have on Echo Reprisal. This gives bonus super energy when we're surrounded by 3 enemies. We kill them, we get bonus super energy. It only gotta be 3 enemies, but it's higher. You get like 2% when it is like at the max of like 5 enemies, something like that. So Echo Reprisal help us get our super back quicker because everybody getting sucked up inside the bubble, and while you're inside the bubble, enemies automatically get aggro to you and want to fight you. And if you're inside the bubble, some enemies will literally run into the bubble because of the aggro. It's just like the Rally Barricade. So Reprisal just very good getting your super back even quicker. We got Echo of Domineering on, so whenever we suppress enemies, we get plus 30 weapon stat. That's why our weapon stat is at 170 on purpose, because we're going to be suppressing people 24/7 with Wave Splitter. So this is just a perfect 200 stat right there. And then we get Void Breach made whenever we kill suppressed people. We have on Echo Starvation, so whenever we pick up a Void Breach or Overpower, we get Devour on us. And if you just pick up a Void Breach or Overpower naturally, you'll just get health considered as Devour because they treat it like you activated it, you triggered it, okay? And then we got Echo Dilation on just for the free plus 10 weapon and super stat. That's it. That's the only reason. If you got perfect stats, you can definitely take this off and replace it with a different fragment if you want to. By the way, I got to say, in the artifact, you can take off Unraveling Orbs if you go with Festival Flight. You can go take off Unraveling Orbs and put on freaking Elemental Siphon, so you get bonus super energy when you pick up Void Breaches. I didn't think it was necessary because I wanted to be able to do the Wolf and Mail and stuff with Synchronic Roulette. But if you are someone running double special, which is very possible with this build with 200 weapon stat, you just have to throw on some like special ammo mods in your helmet and stuff. You can get away with that. I just didn't want to do that because that's 2 overload weapons. As you can see, Festival Flight's overload. Armor mods. 2 super fonts for the 200 super. Harmonic Siphon, so Wave Splitters make it always power for us. We got 3 heavy handed on, so whenever I kill somebody with my melee, whether it's my power melee or I got a void overshield on and I punch them, make it overpower. 3 resist mods on a chest piece. We got on 1 void weapon surge to get Wave Splitter 11% more damage. Stacks on stacks, so pick up overpower, we get 2 armor charges instead of 1, so it's easier for us to get the 3 armor charges we need for a special finisher. Not only to keep ammo for Wave Splitter, but also to activate Exodus down armor quicker. And then we got on Harmonic Scavenger, so when I pick up special ammo, we get bonus ammo for Wave Splitter on top of the 200 weapon stat, giving us extra ammo as well. You can take off stacks on stacks and easier content and put on another void weapon surge, because then you're not trying to really rush to get the armor charges like I was in Lightblade freaking mission, Ultimate Conquest. You can definitely go with 2 void surges, just get that extra 17% instead of 11% for Wave Splitter. Class Find on just cause, you know, get some more class stat in our build. And then we got Reaper on, so when I kill somebody after I put a barricade out, we get an orb power. That's the build. This is my favorite Titan build. I know Stacy's strong stuff, but this is my favorite Titan build, okay? I hope you guys have a blast with this build. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys always. And until next time, stay up.